Wave back, people. What is up? Uh, let's do it like that. Wait a minute, y'all. I have to do a couple of things. I have to join a group here. All right. And that is done. All right. Welcome, y'all. Welcome, y'all. Welcome into the studio. We are back. We are back in the studio. A couple of things that we're going to do today. We're in the studio. I need to finish this one. And we're going to have some chat time. All right. We're going to have some chat time. But first, let me see. I hope y'all can hear me because I am not trying out something with a microphone. So I hope that y'all can hear me through the mic. There's a better sound through the mic than when I'm just talking out loud. So if you hear me correctly, please say so in the chat. Then I know you can hear me. If not, let me also know. That would be good too. That would be amazing too. That would be amazing. Okay, let me. Oh my God, I left this open. Why did I leave this open? I left this open. Damn it. Let me see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the remote. I'm looking for the remote. That's better. What is up, y'all? Oh, dang it. What is up? Are y'all hearing me? I'm not checking with a microphone, so I hope that y'all can hear me. But if not, then that's fine too. Well, it's not. It's not fine. Y'all need to hear me. Let me see. Okay. Let's put on some music. La música. Let's put on some music. Check this out. Let me see if I can connect. Yes, I want to connect. Wait a minute, y'all. I'm putting on some music. Yeah. Okay. That is better. What is up, y'all? How y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. We are now at the studio. A lot of things that I still need to do. but it will figure itself out. It will figure itself out. Oh, let me put some hot water. Okay, water is going to be cooking. I need to put my spirit into a new jar. This is a tip for all painters, right? This is for the painters amongst us. If you're working with spirit, did you know that the particles will drop down to the bottom? So you have fresh, new spirit that you can work with and clean up your brushes. So you don't have to throw this out all the time. If you have an extra bottle, just pour it in there, leave it on whatever place, whatever surface, and after a while, you will have fresh, new spirit. So you don't have to keep on buying over and over again. Eventually, you have to throw it out. But this is a great way to work with it. Wait a minute, I'm missing something. Hold up, y'all. Yes. This is like a sponge. I was already looking for this. Couldn't find it. This is a sponge that I put at the bottom of this jar. I put it in here. And that's a great way for me to clean up my brushes. I have to put it in correctly. Wait a minute. Is it sitting correctly? Not completely. Put it in there, yeah. So if you have a brush, and here goes, of course, the spirit. So you use the spirit to clean up your brush. But this rough surface, that sponge, will help to clean up the brush. Gotta be smart. You got to be smart. So this is basically what I'm doing. I'm just pouring in one in the other. Ay. And I'm doing it carefully because I don't want this bottom. I don't want it in here. I only want to have the fresh spirit. So that's a good way to recycle your spirit. Now this, you see that? All of that? That is something I just have to throw out. So I'm going to throw it away. There we go. Bam. I just have to throw it away. That's something I cannot use. That's just this is like paint residue. See that? You can't use that. So let me put it off here because I don't want it to drop. Put it out there. This is how it looks like. This is all the paint residue. Let's throw that away. Here we go. I'm gonna do that one more time, and then I'm just gonna fill the bottle with a solution, a soap solution. Real easy, easy peasy. Let me put y'all like this, cause y'all can watch with me. Wait a minute. I can see the whole thing with me. Oh, okay. Okay. That is all. That is all of it. Put a little bit of soap in there, dishwash. A little bit more. First, put the cold water in. Put some hot water. There we go. Leave it over there. We are gonna leave it over there. Let me make some tea. Y'all hear the music? I think the music is really soft. I have like a projector here in the studio, right here. You see it? That's the projector. But I found this sound so soft. It's so low. I'm gonna put the speaker to it because I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, let's check it out. How are y'all people doing? Listen up, y'all. Listen up. As I'm walking now through the studio and talking to you all. So check this out. You still got a couple of days for the pre-order. See that? 9th of March. It's the last day. It's the last day, y'all. It's gonna be the last day that you can go for the pre-order. Ooh, what's up, mooning, y'all? God, I hope not. If so, it's not a bad look. It's not a bad look. It's not too bad. I've been going to the gym again. Finally, I can go to the gym again because I really hope that y'all can hear me. Y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me because I'm talking through the microphone and the microphone is attached to the tablet. So I might be talking into the abyss and y'all not even hearing me. Y'all ain't even not hearing me. But anyway, I've been going to the gym again. Since the back injury, I've been going to the gym again, which is, thank God, something that I can do finally. Um, I finally can do that. Oh, that's better. All right. See, the sound is so much different. It's a lot better. I've finally been able to go to the gym again. I'm so happy. I am uber happy. This back injury has been lasting for the last 4 months, and it was the worst. It was really the worst. I had a back injury 4 months ago, and it left me immobile for quite some time. I was able to walk a little bit, but most of it was just, skipping around. So I really couldn't walk long distances. I really couldn't sit long. I had a lot of pain. I felt so demotivated. I felt so demotivated to create new content, all of the things. Wait a minute. Is it allowed to do this? I don't tired. To me, in a couple of minutes, if I'm gonna get this lighter on. The lighter is giving me a headache. Wait. Hold up, y'all. I'm trying to light this thing. Oh my God. I think I'm going to buy a new one because this is getting on my nerve. My God, today. What the F? Let me see if I can find another lighter because this is getting on my goddamn nerve. What in the hell? Let me check if I have something else. I hate that type of shit. When you need something, I need to find it ASAP. I don't want to be looking for things. Where is it? Oh, crap. I think this is the only one that I can use. Where's the lighter? Oh, I got it in my hand. Here. Oh, that's crappy because this one is not working. She is not working. Let me get out of the screen because I don't know if TikTok is going to cut the live short because I'm lighting something on screen. I don't want to do that. So, and people can be petty. They can be petty on the live. God dang it. It's not working. Got it. Got it. Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Yay. There's some incense. I like burning incense in the studio. Okay. Okay, let's close the window. We had some fresh air, or else it gets so stuffy in here. All right. Yes. So I had a back injury a couple of months ago. I talked about it a lot of times, and I also created a number of videos on my YouTube about it. So I talk about the experience. How did I get out of it? Um, what it did to me in that particular moment, because there's not much that you can do. If you cannot sit, then it's hard to create. If you're constantly in pain, it's also hard to create. And I did not want to be depending on any, substances that would help me get through the pain, because then you become dependent on painkillers. And that is not going to help you out of it. So the only remedy for that, the only tip that I can give to other people for that is move. All right? You just have to move. You got to move, people. You got to move. But I'm happy that I'm going back into the gym, that I'm mobile, that I can walk, active. Oh, that I'm active. I'm just really happy for that. All right. So what is up with y'all? What is up with y'all? Because every time when I come into the live, I only see one person, 0 people. It's like talking to the abyss. But it's okay too. I mean, I'd rather have people in the live that really want to be in here than people who do not want to be in here, even if you're looking from outside of the clear. Gosh, yeah, I'm sitting down. Okay, even if you're looking, ay, Jesus, yay, 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 yay. Why is it so cold? No, I don't like that. Let me take this off. and put it over here. That's too cold. All right. Even if there are people looking from outside of the club. All right. So check this out. Y'all still got a couple of days for the pre-order. Okay. I still got a couple of days for the pre-order. So this is a good time to talk about what the pre-order is. What does it mean? What is it that you can expect from this? What can you get? Etc. 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 Right? Because I can imagine I've seen people come to the website, but it's like you are scared. But if it's something from the TikTok shop, y'all quick to buy. Y'all quick to buy. I don't have a TikTok shop, or else I would have offered it in a TikTok shop. But when it's on the TikTok shop, oh, y'all will peel up your purse. Y'all will peel open your purse and be like, I want that. Y'all will take your card, be like this, be like this. And y'all will quickly, with the quickness, will buy something in the TikTok shop. I think that's a little bit shady what y'all doing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think it's a little bit shady. So because I'm not a TikTok girl, a TikTok shop girly, this is what y'all do with me. This is how y'all treat me. Mm? I don't think that is nice. Don't worry, I'm not a nice person either. I'm a kind person, but I'm not a nice person. The reason why I say this so many times, and why I have unlearned myself not to be a nice person is because of the meaning of that word. Go look it up. There's nothing positive about that word nice. And a lot of people are walking on this planet thinking that they're doing something great when they say, well, I'm such a nice person. That's the reason why you're coming in a lot of nonsense, because you're telling people that you're such a nice person. But go look it up. If you have time for it, Google the word nice and see if you can use it in a sentence that actually reflects you. I bet you can't. You can't do that. You can't do it. I bet you can't do it. You will be leaving this life and then you will go look up the word nice, and you might never come back to this life, but you will always remember not to use the word nice anymore. Right? Anymore. You won't be able to use it anymore. No, but the pre-order. The pre-order has started, of course. A pre-order, as you can see here, this is the print. This is Lena Horne. And I'm currently also working with Eartha Kitt. So a pre-order is basically ordering something that has not, what's a better description for it? Pre-ordering is actually the first step before you finally get to the point that you get your order. So it's actually delayed gratification. You order now with the guarantee that you will be one of the first in line to get a particular item, a product, a service, in this case, a product, and that is this art print, Lena Horne. No, I'm not on TikTok shop, but that should not matter. That should not matter. It should not matter if I'm on TikTok shop and if y'all are a little bit too lazy to leave the platform. All right. The good things that you really want to have, sometimes you have to do some work for that. Right? In order for me to paint on the level that I wanted to paint, I had to do some work for that. Could not be lazy. So for the good things, you do sometimes have to do some work. And the print, the art print, is basically a A4. It's an A4. It's like a sheet that you use for your printer. Pre-ordering of this means that you are getting a reproduction of it. So that means you're getting a, well, nicely said, nicely put. It is basically a copy of the original. So the original, you see it over here. That is here. That one is also available. I will put it up on the shop very soon. I'm not sure yet, but I do have to do it very soon. But what you basically get with a reproduction is that you get a limited edition of this original print. Limited editions go with 25 pieces. So of the original, there are 25 copies. 25 copies means it is a limited edition. It's not something that will go on and on and on and on and forever and forever. No. I've decided that for these two, Eartha Kitt and Lena Horne, I am in generous mood. And I'm saying 25 pieces. 25 pieces of Lena Horne, 25 pieces of Eartha Kitt. If you want to see the Eartha Kitt, you can find it, of course, also here in my feed. You can go to my Patreon. I have a lot of photos over there as well. And in my newsletter. So for those who are really already in the whole cycle of getting the updates, getting the promos, getting premium offers, those are the people who already got to know that before I announced it here on any platform. So that means on TikTok, on Instagram, or any particular public platform. The reason why I do that is because the people that are in my newsletters, those are people that actually want to know more. They want to know more. They want to be updated on new promos. They want to get more about the behind the scene. They want to get closer to what is happening here in the studio. And those people obviously will get more, right? They will get more of it. So if you are interested to see what it is that's happening behind the scene, anytime I have a new promo, courses, special offers, sometimes I have like other great things, other great content for people to know when it comes to, for instance, how do you collect art? How do you start? Where do you have to pay attention to? The newsletter is the place to be, and the Patreon. So the Patreon is more for the people that are artists. If you're an artist and you like what it is that I do, you like the content, you're getting a lot of feedback from this, you're getting a lot of information that's like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that. Then the Patreon is the perfect place to be, because today, or actually yesterday, I posted a video. I will talk about it later, what that particular video is and why you should go and watch it. And if you are an artist, so if you're an artist, you might want to stick around because I'm going to talk about that a little bit as well. Let's just stick here with the pre-order. Yo, listen, it's cold in here. Let me turn on the heater because it's a little bit cold. It's a little bit cold. And I'm a little bit sniffling. I don't like that. Let's turn this thing on. Let me see. Come on, babes. There we go. There we go. That is what I want to hear. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Excusez-moi. Pardonnez-moi. All right. So, with the pre-order, all right, what do you get with the pre-order? Or what do you just get in general when it comes to an art print? An art print is basically the reproduction of a painting. I'm a painter. I'm a contemporary artist, and most of the things I paint or I digitally draw. So I also have illustrations. And from that, I also create art prints. And art prints are a great way for people to get acquainted in a more affordable way to what it is that I have to offer. I can imagine that not everybody has the space to hang something elaborately as what I have here. Not everybody might have the budget to, go into the 3-figure range of the art that I have or the 2-figure range of the art that I have. I understand that. So for that, there is a great opportunity for people to get art prints. And an art prints is just an affordable way to say, you know what? I might not be able to get the original, but I can get a reproduction of it. Can I have a copy? Is it possible for me to get a copy from that? Right? Wait a minute. Multitasking. That's what you need to do. Multitasking. Oh, there she goes. Here she is. Multitasking. So Art prints are a great way for people to get an affordable option, and they come in different sizes. Most of the art prints that I have come in different sizes. The smallest one will be an A4. That is like a sheet that you use for your printers, right? A4. And they can go up to really big sizes. So it depends on what I have created and what I created it on, what the original size of it is. So most of the art prints are also available in the original size of the canvas. So for instance, if the canvas is 60 by 80 centimeters, then there is a possibility for you to also get an art print 60 by 80 centimeters, but it's just a fraction of the original price. And what it also, what the benefit of it is that you can get the art print unframed, or you receive the art print framed. And that is, of course, because the reason why that is a good option for people who are like, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time. Excuse me, I don't want to spend too much time finding a frame. I don't want to spend too much time looking for something that fits the art print. I have already done the job for you. I've already done the job for you to, look for a good art frame, to put the art print into the art frame and put it in a way so that the only thing you need to do is just hang it up, right? The only thing you need to do is just hang it up. That's the only thing that you need to do. Different price ranges offer, of course, great opportunities for people to also get something that they see in the store. I have a shop, you can shop around, and there's always a possibility for you to get something. I have a lot of promos, but there's promos. I've decided to give the promos not only online, because you can also see it in the web store if you're there. Once you're there, you get a pop-up to join the newsletter. Join the newsletter. Join the newsletter. A lot of people are like, well, I already have a lot of newsletters. Yeah, but those are the newsletters that might not be newsletters that you're really interested in. If you want to know when promos are available, when there is premium content or other great things that you want to know of me that I'm not posting here on social media, yeah, the newsletter is the place to be. And it's of course to make it also worth your time, because there's no use to send a newsletter to people who are not interested in reading that. There's no use to send a newsletter to people who, you know, you don't want it. But that's not the reason why you are joining a newsletter. You're joining the newsletter because you really want to be involved into the process of what I do and what it is I have to offer. So as a contemporary artist, I mostly offer art prints. I'm in the process of I want to rearrange a couple of things in the store. That means the merchandise. And what I mean with merchandise, those are t-shirts, notebooks, buttons, things like that. I've decided to rearrange it a little bit and to go for the things, some other things, specific designs that I would like to offer into the store. But that will be announced in the newsletter. So for the people who come into the newsletter, they will know first. And the other great advantage is that when you join the newsletter, you get to know things first. You are first in line. You will always be first in line. You will always be first in line. You will always be first updated. You will always get first pick. And when it comes to art prints that I actually from now on want to offer as limited editions within a certain time span, that is going to be your benefit that you're going to get by being first in line and being as close to the artist, in this case me, to get all of those great things. Now some art prints I'm just going to have as close to the artist, in this case me, to get all of those great things. Now some art prints I'm just going to have here on my desk. You can see she's not quite finished yet, so I do have to make some little adjustments, little additions here and there. But this is basically the original of Lena Horne. Now, they hear from this piece, right? From this piece, I create copies, and those copies are reproductions. That is what is called in the art world. Those are art reproductions. You can get the art reproductions till the 9th of March. Till the 9th of March. 9th of March is this Sunday. 25 pieces of Lena Horne, 25 pieces of Eartha Kitt. Yes, I'm also painting Eartha Kitt. If you don't have a piece, then it's what it is. If 9 March approaches, then you will not get a piece. And I think it is definitely worth it to be investing into something that is for the long term, right? It's something for the long term. I can understand why for a lot of people art is still something that is so far from their peripheral, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. We are now in a world where art is accessible for pretty much a lot of people. A lot of people. Will it ever be at a level where you can go to a Walmart type of art? I don't think that will be the case for a lot of artists. And those who do that have had, they still paint art type of art. I don't think that will be the case for a lot of artists. And those who do that have had, they still offer their things at a certain level that represents their work and what they stand for. But for most artists, the best way that you can get in contact with them and can get their products is by going into the website. I think it's very dope. Can I have that? Is it available? Also, pieces that are, it's very dope. Can I have that? Is it available? Also, pieces that are, above a certain affordable range. I would say anything that is considered affordable is between, a level of original art, right? When I'm talking about original art, anything that is affordable is 250 till, let's say, 2,500. Some people go lower to 1,000, but I say 2,500 is still affordable. And there are great ways for people to do installments. You can pay installments, and not everything has to be paid, at once. So there are great opportunities for people to say, okay, I would like to have something, but it might not be something that I can do at once. You don't have to be denied. Okay, I would like to have something, but it might not be something that I can do at once. You don't have to be denied at all. You do not have to be denied. The great thing about it is that there are great options, payment options, depending on what the pricing is, also depending on what it is that you would like to do when it comes to installments. We can get to an agreement and make sure that you are being helped in a proper way. So that is for the bigger paintings, but also the above affordable or just affordable pieces, because I also have affordable pieces, original pieces in my portfolio. So till the 9th of March, this one is available. Lena Horne is available. Even if you're looking outside of the club and it still stands, Lena Horne is available. This is the great opportunity to now get one. Only 25 pieces. After that, it closes and only the original is available. So that means if you were ever interested in having a copy, a reproduction, an art print, and now you were like, well, I'm just going to wait for the next time she's going to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it or if I'm ever going to do it. So there is a sense of urgency to do it. And no, this is not in TikTok shop. I don't know when I'm going to do it or if I'm ever going to do it. So there is a sense of urgency to do it. And no, this is not in TikTok shop. You won't find something in TikTok shop for this. This is definitely a one-of-a-kind piece in the way that I have produced it. So it also makes it very special, right? It makes it very special. Do I consider art that you buy at, for instance, a Walmart, or for the people here in the Netherlands, if you go to Action or to a Hema or an IKEA, I'm saying it in Dutch, but IKEA, is that art lesser No, it's not lesser because there are different markets, and for those markets, there are different products. So it's not me saying that the one is lesser than the other. It's not me saying that one is better than the other, or that you're not an art collector or an art lover if you buy your art at IKEA. But this I'm definitely going to say it's not the same. It's not comparable. It's not the same. And the reason why it's not comparable and it's not the same is because, of course, the scale. I could do this, of course, also in a bigger scale, but I choose not to do that. I choose not to do that. Most of the art that you will find in IKEA are bigger scale art. It's also very much everybody can get a piece of it. Everybody has something like of IKEA in their house, which doesn't make it special anymore. If everybody gets a piece of it, meh, meh. And that is not to dump on people who buy IKEA stuff. Half of the things that I bought here are IKEA stuff. I have a shelf from IKEA. Where I hang my oil paint is from IKEA. I have a lot of things here from IKEA. So that is definitely not to dump on people who buy things from IKEA. But IKEA stands for something. Let's be honest. IKEA stands for affordable, self-production, right? And simplicity. Affordable, self-production, and simplicity. Why do I say self-production? Because you have to produce it yourself. You're not buying the whole table completely done. No, you have to put the table together yourself. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You got to put the whole table together yourself. You got to put the whole table together yourself. And of course you're going to appreciate the table because you put time into it. But it also has a simplistic way of creating things. A lot of the items that you see, like I already said, most people have it. You cannot be surprised if your neighbor has the same table or Kallax shelf that you have. And it's, of course, also economic efficiency. Those are the words that come to mind when I think about IKEA or IKEA art. And some of the IKEA art that I see there, I'm like, oh, that's adorable. Oh, that looks really cute. But it's not of the sense that it speaks to you. It's more like we need something to decorate the house with, and let's just buy something that is in our wallet, in a budget. For those people, I might never be the choice, right? It might never be a choice for you to buy something that is bespoke, to buy something that is considered to be fine art, or to buy something that is considered to be really, higher in the echelon when it comes to contemporary art. This might not be something that you're like, oh, I can't afford it. Okay, then it's not for you. Then it's not for you. Again, it's not to dump on people, not at all, but it is to make a distinction for who is it for, right? For certain things, you do have to do a little bit more effort. For certain things, you do have to do a little bit more digging to find those gems. For certain things, you do have to do a lot more to get access to that. So this is definitely something that falls into that category. You definitely, when you look at this particular art, you see fine art, you see high standard, you see quality, um, one of a kind, contemporary. It's not that you can go to IKEA and say, I've seen something on someone's page during a live, and I'm going to go to IKEA to see if I can find something similar. Or you know what? I just go to Pinterest and I'm printing it out. Okay, that's also an option, but that already shows that this might not be something for you. But here's the beautiful thing about it, though, right? This is something that I've personally also opened my mind for myself. What you initially are not for, you can become. So that means you can open up your mind to new things. You can open up your mind to things that you initially was like, well, I don't know. It sounds as if it's out of my league. It sounds as if it is right. It sounds as if I have to ask other people what they think about it. It sounds as if I have to go back and forth about the thought or the decision on whether I want to do it, yes or no, which I think it's a really good thing because it makes you consciously involve yourself with a certain process that only you can figure out for yourself, only you can determine that for yourself. Most people won't get mad if somebody says that they don't like their IKEA art or any particular art that they have bought in a department store or whatever, because it's everywhere. But when it comes to something that you really deliberately put your time into, which I can imagine when it comes to this, right? Pre-ordering and receiving an art print, you hope, you hope that when you receive it, it's going to look really good and great. And I'm going to show you an art print of how it eventually looks like. So not this one, but a different print, a different art work of mine. I can imagine that you're feeling like, well, I don't know if if it will live up to the expectancy that I have of something. I can imagine that, right? I can imagine when you put your coins together for something and you're paying for shipping costs and you're paying for the product, piece of art, and you're already in your mind, like, I have it here, and boy, is it going to be something that lives up to my expectation. I fully can imagine that because you don't want to get disappointed. But disappointment should not be something that you put in as a variable into this equation. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying that that should not be part of your equation is because you don't want to set your mind up for failure. Why would you set your mind up for failure in that particular way? Why would you set your mind up for failure when it comes to doing your due diligence and expecting exactly what it is that you're looking for? Then that should be your outlook. And that goes for a lot of things. That goes for many things that we go for in life. It can be for education. It can be for, elevating yourself, upgrading yourself in whatever way. It is important for you that you put yourself into a mindset, but also in an environment that says, I am ready to receive that excellence that I actually want to have for myself. Whatever that excellence might be. In a lot of cases, that excellence is just not going to come in the level of an IKEA art. It's not going to come in the level of a department art. It's not going to come in the level of a TikTok shop. No shade. No shade. Or maybe I'm kind of shading y'all. Maybe that's the reason why I'm not getting any likes. Maybe that's the reason why. But hey, it is what it is. It's not going to be at the level where you say, well, why can it not be? Or I think it's a little bit expensive. Hey, that's fine. I mean, I don't feel offended by it at all because everything has a price. So either you have it or you don't. It's not a discussion of how can we, you either have it or you don't, right? You either have it or you don't. And what has definitely helped in a conversation, if a person has already bought something and they are consistent with it and they see, for instance, an original art piece and they are like, well, is there maybe a possibility that we can talk about the price? Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are like exceptions to the rule, right? That is like an exception to the rule, baby. That's an exception to the rule. But in general, for anything that you want to elevate yourself and you want to upgrade, you're going to have to put yourself in a mindset that says, it will see itself through to the end. You're not here to expect failure because you automatically already putting yourself into an environment and an energy wave that is going to attract that. That's why y'all come into situations and you're like, well, I don't understand how I came here. Subconsciously, unconsciously, and subconsciously, you're already thinking that. You already were in that line. Maybe you were, you know what a good example is? that whole ordeal, and I don't know if you've heard about it. If you have not, let me just give a very quick synopsis. Let me give a quick synopsis. Let me put this away because we don't want the original to, you know, the original needs to say say. All right. So for those who do not know, there's a whole ordeal here on TikTok about a particular hairstylist, Mulan something else, Mulan something. And basically, more of the story, customer requested if there was any coming to some house was ice cold. One of the things, right? And at that particular moment, the hairstylist just went off. She went off, but the lady left with a hairdo that was just half done. The needle and the thread were still hanging in her hair. She was having a hair installment, so the needle and the thread was still hanging in her hair. And she's sitting in front of the camera like, I don't know where this is coming from. The only thing that I requested after coming in, after sitting there for quite some time, if there was any heating. And that lady went off. Now, that is not for me to say, based on what I just mentioned, it's not for me to say that she asked for this particular situation. Absolutely not. Because she's not at fault. The only thing that she asked for was, baby, can you turn on the heat? Because I'm shivering. I'm cold. Yes, your house is cold. Okay? Your house is cold. Could this been happening in a suite or a hair salon? Absolutely. This could also be the case. So yes, but it is more the exception than it's the generality. Because for those who know, who go to a reputable hairstylist, a reputable salon, who has a status quo when it comes to service, and especially if it's something that you want to be of excellence, that is what you're going to expect. That is what you paid for. That's what you're going to get. That is what you set your mind up for as well. You don't deviate from that. You don't go into a mindset that says, "Oh, but what is it going to feel?" You don't set your mind up for that. You set your mind up for success. You set your mind up for excellence. You set your mind up for there is an effect to a cause, and it follows each other, and it's always in my favor. When I elevate, when I upgrade, it will always be done in a way that it will not only benefit the person who is giving it to me, but also me as the receiver, or vice versa. Two things that I got from that particular situation, from that Mulan hair shop, right, is number one, looking from the hairstylist point, and I heard another creator give his examination from that, which I thought was brilliant, and I fully agree. So here it is. This is something that she personally has been dealing with, and she definitely went off on a customer who had nothing to do with it. Internally, she was already dealing with maybe certain issues. We don't know her personal issue. We don't know if there were multiple people coming to her home salon, and had complaints, or she felt that people were just asking too much. You are not asking enough, or I am not enough. It was giving I am not enough. It was giving inferior. That is what it was giving. It was giving, I feel inferior, and you ask too much, and that is not what I can give. But that has nothing to do with the customer. It has to do with the person. She internally felt that it was not enough. And you just have to be happy with what it is that I give, right? Number two, and this is from the customer side, and that is that the customer who was sitting there receiving the service, hoping to receive the service, and this is the thing that, okay, this is me personally. All right, this is me personally. Here I am, and I'm thinking like, but baby, you are going to somebody's home, right? that is actually not set up to be for a salon service. So you basically are walking into a service that could be anything, and that is not the way that you set yourself up for the service that you might could have had. Of course, there are many stories of people, oh, I went to that person's house and they really treated me well and I've had snacks. But those are a few, because they are not obliged from their home to give you a salon service. They're not. You're going into their home, the place of living, domestic. I don't have to offer. This is what I got. And this is what the hairstylist also said. So you're basically setting yourself up subconsciously, unconsciously, to get something more than what you physically are seeing. And you're not getting it. But then again, I'm saying you cannot really be mad about that. You cannot really be mad about that. Because 9 out of 10 times, as people have, most stores, not all stores have that, but most stores have like a rating system where you can see what people's experiences have been. You can ask people online, well, what is your experience on that? Mind you, people can remove comments, of course, and negative commentary. But there are so many ways where people can find out, well, what is the experience of someone? How did they experience the service that they get at a certain salon or whatever particular place of business? You could have had, and which I know most hairstylists have, 15 minutes before even the appointment, to first have a discussion, a conversation of what it is that you could expect, so that you set yourself up for success. But what we are noticing and what we are witnessing here is that we are now in a stream, like a stream, an economy stream, but also a behavioral stream, where things have to become quick, easy, efficient, and cheap. And if it's something that it actually is beyond our budget, then the person who is servicing us should mind our budget. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. If you want to set yourself up for success, then you have to make those steps to do so. That means that I, as a business owner, when I offer my art to you all, because I am a business owner, I offer my art to you all, I have to make sure that when you step on my website, when you come over here, I help you to set yourself up for success. I help you understand what it is that you're going to get from me. I help you understand what the services that you can receive from me. I also help you understand what is the after service. So after you bought something, that I would like to hear, what did you think of it? Did you hang it up? Was it nice? Did you enjoy it? Etc. 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 But that is me helping you to set yourself up for success. So if you're the type of person who wants to have things fast, cheap, easy, and simplistic, then there's going to be a disconnect. There's always going to be a disconnect where you just feel out of line, or you feel that you should have get a particular performance according to your budget. That's not how it works. No, sir, no, ma'am. That's not how it works. Your budget is what allows you to get the particular service or product that you want. But you cannot dictate what the quality of it needs to be. So you cannot say, because I have a budget that says, for instance, 150, but the service is actually 200, that you now start complaining about the 200 service. Or somebody says, well, it's 150, and you go to their place of business, but the place of business says nowhere 150. And again, I'm not faulting the customer, because it's an awful experience. I can only imagine what she has has felt when she was just, walking home, and she's like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? But I hope that she will also get the moment to reflect, and the moment just to have some introspection of, well, wait a minute. If I feel that I deserve a certain level of service, a certain product, and yes, we can say that, let's say her service, her providing a hair service was 150. But let's be honest, as a business owner, you're not only looking at what am I doing when it comes to the labor that I put into it. There is a service that comes with it. There is a whole lot more that is a package that somebody is paying for. There's a value that somebody gets from that. There's an after service that somebody also has access to. There comes so much more into that. So for what happened to her, it's very, it's sad what has happened to her. But I also hope for herself that she understands that when I'm paying 150, and I'm thinking, well, I'm paying 150 just for the installation of the hair. What is it that you're gonna get? What did you expect? you know, I'm not expecting somebody who is telling me, well, yeah, you have to pay 150 for my labor, that this person also has done due diligence when it comes to customer service, that this person has done due diligence and invested in themselves to have proper customer service, that has done due diligence to set up a website so that people are correctly informed, that this person will take the time before even having an appointment to sit down with me so that we can discuss the expectation of a service. But y'all don't want to get into that. Most of y'all will go to TikTok, y'all buku cry, or y'all go on the internet and start complaining why people are so expensive. The reason, and I'm going to tell you why, now that I got you on the line, the reason why most businesses will raise their prices is not only because of the service, the perceived value, there's a value that you get, aftercare, pre-care, the service, customer service. It also has to do with selective attraction of their preferred customers. It is to make sure that those who have the budget, who have the wallet to get a certain product or service, that those people get to it. It is also a selective argument to have the right customer coming towards you. Because I find it very interesting that a lot of people are like, well, this is so expensive, that is so expensive. But y'all have no problem paying for things in a TikTok shop and they break in no time. And then you go back into the TikTok shop and you buy it again, or you buy something else. Instead of saying, let me gather the coins and buy something that is more apart. And that is putting the economy to the side. Because let me tell you something, whether there is a recession, a depression, right, or an optimistic rise of an economy, deflation or inflation, people will buy the things that they need. People will still go out. People will still take holidays. People will still buy that expensive clothing. Yeah, I hear people say, well, I'm going to be budgeting. Yeah, from what I'm seeing here on the TikTok, ain't none of y'all budgeting. No. People will spend their money on things what they want to spend their money for, even if it's outside of their budget. So that already shows that pricing is a very, very important factor into what it is that you buy into. A business sets itself apart in that particular way. The customer sets itself apart in that particular way. But that might be a conversation that might be going, I don't know. I don't know. It might be. But that's because I'm a different type of person. I like to think about those things. And as an artist who sees other artists talk a lot about, well, I don't want to price myself too high. I want to, I want to be affordable. And for some people, it works to be affordable. No, no hate, no tea, no shade. It's what works for you. It is what you want. It's what you set yourself up for. Do you set yourself up for a certain thing to receive? When I step into the IKEA and I'm like, well, I don't want to really pay too much for this, that's because I set myself up for something affordable, simplistic, easy. And I have to put my own time into it to set it, to put it all together. Or I ask somebody else to put it together because I ain't got the time for it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Or I'm gonna ask somebody else to do it. But in most cases, that's how you set yourself up. Having to explain to the public why they have chosen this particular art work of you based on the artist statement that you are giving, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, right? Your artist biography should tell your life cycle as an artist. All right? It should tell your artist life cycle. Who are you? Where were you born? Did you have formal education as an artist? Or are you an autodidact? Self-taught. I am self-taught. I did not go to art school. I did not go to art school. I'm a self-taught artist. If you are autodidact, speak a little bit about how your process has been as an autodidact and how you came to that point. Right? Speak about why you are a painter and how you developed yourself as a painter. Succinctly. It doesn't have to be 3 pages. Because if people are going to see that curator or gallery or whomever is getting your information and they see you got 3 pages, it goes into the bin. If you got 3 pages of a biography, they will throw it into, they will be like, step to the side, step to the side. Step to the side. We're not going to do that. There's too much work and they don't have enough time. There are many applications coming in, and most of the applications that are getting chosen are applications that are well managed, well organized, well presented, and also show in the artist CV that they have put themselves out there as being an artist. So you cannot write 3 pages of your biography. We don't want to know why you love painting so much. Speak about how your artistry, how as an artist you produce what it is that you produce. Make that connection. Pronto. Make that connection. If you can't do it in, this is a paper, right? This is a paper. This is an A4 paper. If you can't speak about your biography in this size, they're going to push it to the side. It's too long. They don't have the time. They're going to push it to the side. They're going to be like, bye, Keisha. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Antoine. Bye, Eric. And you're going to be sitting at home being like, well, I don't understand why they didn't pick me. It's too long. It's too long. It's too long. You know what could be 2, 3 pages? Your CV. But not, mind you, it has to have those events, those events that really contributed to your presentation contribution as a contemporary artist. So that means any current publications into magazines and newspapers, contribution, being part of group expositions or solo expositions, work that has been awarded. Maybe you have entered into some prestigious or well-known competitions. Those are the ones that you need to put on your CV. That you have joined an exposition in your mall is not really that interesting for most. It's a start for you. It's a start for you to get your name out there. It is a start for you to say, hey, look at me, I'm here. That's a start. It's a start for you. But for you to be part of group expositions, especially, specifically events that could, they could push you forward where you would like you to see yourself at, then you really have to mind and look very critically on what it is that you put into your artist CV. Do not put into your artist CV that you have been part of the group mall somewhere in your local town. But if the exposition in your group mall was done by a prestigious company or in collaboration with a museum, then mention it. See what I'm getting at? Then it's good to mention it. It would not be so wise to mention that you were, that there was an article of you in the local school news. So wise to mention that you were, that there was an article of you in the local school newspaper. But if it's a local school newspaper of a prestigious art institution that works and collaborates, but if it's a local school newspaper, but if it's a local school newspaper of a prestigious art institution that works and collaborates with certain galleries and museums, and you have an honorable mention in that, mention it. See what I'm getting at? Now, what I have not spoken about in the video, which might be another video what I want to talk about it, is if you are a starting artist, how do you get to those certain places? 3 things that can definitely help. 3. One is, let me start with the least. Let me start with the most favorable one and then go to the least favorable one. The most favorable one is, of course, that people ask you to do an interview. So there might be people, friends and family, or maybe just associates that you know who are in contact with magazines, newspapers, they want to do an article with you. That's one way of doing it. Maybe you're part of art markets to get your name out there. That's another way of doing it. The second least favorable one is that you actually really have to do, the work for it. So you have to call people. You have to cold call people, or you have to send out emails, or you have to DM people, and you won't always get a response. The least favorable is that you just have to, but it's the one that works the best. The least favorable is that you have to go out there and network. Why I say that that one is the least favorable? Because most artists don't want to go out there and network. And it has many reasons. But one reason that should always be interested for you is that you get into contact with the right people. And if there's one person who says no to you, you just don't know if that person is in contact with someone else who might be a good fit for you. It all has to do with your presentation. It all has to do with, of course, um, subject matter. Are you able to talk with someone about a particular subject matter and see where you can, find yourself in the middle of something? Sometimes it goes in a route of having to participate in a project that initially there's not a connection in there, but there might be the right people in there that could get to know you. They see your face, they hear your name, and something starts to ring. And you come bearing gifts. So that means you don't come empty-handed. Because first of all, these people didn't ask for you. You would like to come in contact with people. You would like to put yourself out there and, to get more attention and traction. Also maybe be part of exhibitions, magazine, publications, etc., etc. So you come bearing gifts. It should always be your focus of what is it that I have to offer in a conversation. And not necessarily that you are surfacing them, but how does a collaboration with you make things more efficient? How does a collaboration with you make them look good? How does a collaboration with you be something that is the next level? So marketing, basically. How do you sell yourself? How do you sell yourself? Because that is basically what an artist statement is. That piece of paper that says all about you, that artist statement is a way of promoting yourself, marketing yourself, selling yourself. And I know that for a lot of artists, they are like, well, that's such a dirty word. And, I just want to focus on the art. Oh, please, get out of here. You also got to sell yourself. You want to sell your work? You also got to sell yourself. Promote yourself. Market yourself. You also got to do that. I'm afraid that people are going to reject me. It can happen. It's not fun. But here's the thing. You're an adult now, right? So yes, it's going to sting a little bit. It's going to feel like crap. And you might feel like, oh my gosh, I got my ego bruised. Or that person didn't even want to give me a hand. Or that person was looking at me like, who are you? Right? Or I felt so out of touch. I felt so out of place. Go to the next. Go to the next. Go to the next. Go to the next. You're grown. Okay? You can do that. You can do that. But I posted a video on my YouTube. And I also mentioned in there that on my Patreon, there's a possibility you can join on my Patreon and get an example of how you can make an artist statement in OpenAI, JetGTP. What more you got? DeepSeek. Because believe it or not, I'm not opposed to OpenAI. I'm not opposed to OpenAI because I do see ways of how it can help us, how it can be your marketing assistant, how it can be your a copywriter. Because I use it for a lot of copy. Most of the text and descriptions that I've created on my website, if not all, are made with ChatGTP. And if I feel that I need to tweak it a little bit, then I do it with my hands. It's not that it needs to be all fully ChatGTP. It has to be more of a human touch. That is always something that I advise. But I do use that. It saves up time. It creates consistency. And eventually you can teach it how to create the flow of speaking that you are normally used to. So in my Patreon, I show an example of a prompt. A prompt is actually a command. It's a command of what you want a program to do. So you copy paste, put that prompt into OpenAI. That can be ChatGPT, can be DeepSeek, and you get it out. And then you can tweak it where you feel like, oh, this doesn't sound too good, or this needs to be a little bit different, or I want this to be added into it. you can tweak it. That is in my Patreon. The link in the bio also leads you to the Patreon. There's a tier, a tab that literally says become a member on Patreon. When you press on that, when you become a premium member, you have full access to that example, to that prompt. You can actually tweak it to the way that you want it to. Because I know a lot of y'all are not doing it. And something that I said in my Patreon, excuse me, something that I said in my Patreon, I'm going to say here as well. OpenAI is a tool. It should never fully 100% determine, of course, what it is that you put out there. You are in control over it, so it should help you. It should guide you. So I always see things that I need to tweak. I always see things that I need to change. I always see ways where I feel like this flow is not, it's not going. It's not given. It's not giving. So there are always things that I find back in ChatGPT. But if you're like, yeah, I actually want to start working with it, or hey, that might be a really good idea because I cannot find the words to have the flow, or find a way that I can describe myself in an artist statement, or even in an artist biography, that prompt can be a great start, can be a great way of working at it. And even if you're saying, well, can I not just buy it? There's also a possibility to buy that, to buy the article, because I have a file that shows the example that I use for myself. And I always look at it every 6, 7 months to see if it's still up to date, right? Does it still fit my art practice? Did my art practice change? Do I have a different view? Is there something that I need to tweak in that? Then I go back to it. You can also buy separate posts on my Patreon. It's also possible, but you have to be a member. All right? Premium members get more. Premium members get more service. Premium members get more access. Right? So that is definitely something that can help you. And if you have been thinking about, well, I really wanted to start with ChatGPT, but I'm kind of afraid that it's going to look corny, it's going to look artificial, which it is. It is artificial intelligence, but the more information that we're now putting into it, it's not artificial anymore. It's not going to be artificial anymore. To make a small sidetrack, I heard someone on this particular platform, it was a scholar. That man said it's not going to be artificial intelligence, it's going to be ancestral intelligence. It's going to be ancestral intelligence, which I think is a really great way of describing it. I think that's an awesome way of describing it. Back on track. If you have been thinking about, well, how can I use OpenAI as an artist? There are many ways that you can do that. You can use it for the descriptions of your artworks on a website. You can use it for your artist statements. You can use it for your art CVs. Maybe you don't know how to set up the prompt. I got you. Go to the Patreon. It's already set up a prompt. And I'm actually thinking about creating a series in my Patreon where I have prompts that people can use. You can tweak it a little bit to use it for yourself. Different types of prompts. Because I've been working with OpenAI, ChatGPT specifically for quite some time, and with DeepSeek for the last 6 months, maybe so. And I have to say, this is the way that I envision artificial intelligence to be used. To support us, but not to replace us. But in order for us not to be replaced, we need to know how to process the information. We need to know how it works. We need to be able to work with it and to use it for different purposes that it's intended for. I know that there's a creator here on this platform. I follow her. I forgot her name, but She gives prompts, she has videos, she has tips and tricks on how to use OpenAI in your marketing, in creating videos. She even built an AI agent, like a customer agent, that is scouting for content on the internet, creates a video of that and posts that on TikTok for a different account that she has. Because that is the world that we're going towards. Artificial intelligence has been so much, not in the most obvious way. It has already been such a part in our in the DNA of human life. It's already being introduced and being slowly being integrated into that. And when you look at the most obvious way of open AI being part of that is, of course, the art that we see, right? The flooding. I was on Pinterest and I was looking for a particular, I don't know what the reference was, and I only saw AI. I find it really interesting how people can say, well, I don't even recognize that that is AI. Maybe it has to do with the fact that these eyes are trained in a different way. But the fact that we see so much AI art, everything is AI art. And let me put that in quotation marks because I don't consider that to be AI art, right? Because AI is not the medium and it's definitely not the tool to create something. Eventually, you have to feed another program your creativity, which it does, right? If you look at how AI works, it copies, takes in information, data about our behavior, about our thinking, about our patterns, about our creativity, and that is the output that it's giving, right? So it's based on the data that we already possess. So that's why it cannot be something that is considered to be art, AI art, right? I know a lot of people have a lot of reasons why. Well, I do consider it to be a. That's for you. But don't come and tell me that the sky is red when we all know it's blue. But that to the side, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, we see a huge transition. We see a progression in that. We see a huge progression into that. So the question that we need to ask ourselves, definitely as artists and business owners, please, artists, go into your mindset of being a business. Please, just go into the mindset of a business owner. Go into that, all right? And I don't want you to use common sense. I want you to use the excellent sense. Because that what people consider nowadays to be common sense. The pool is muddy. It stinks. People are peeing in it. It's disgusting. Okay? Go to the level of excellent sense. As a business owner, go to the level of excellent sense. Yes, you as an artist. I don't care if you do commissions. I don't care if you're sitting on the market. I don't care if you're being represented by a gallery. You are a business. Please start thinking that way. So as a business, you now have to start thinking if AI is now becoming more an integral part, right? It becomes more part of the DNA as we move as human beings, as we do business. What makes you think that that will not happen into the creative industry? What makes you think that that will not happen in the artistic industry? Right? And this is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. Excuse me. Been thinking about this for quite some time because we already feel and see how this can happen. But I don't believe that we are getting enough into the conversations of what it is that we actually can do, right? But I'm not going to mention them here. That, of course, is something that I have to test out for myself before I bring it out here. But I do want to already nudge you, the people that are here in the live, and also people that are looking from outside of the club, I want you to think critically about how can I move as an artist with the comings of AI. And it's not to say, well, I don't want to deal with it, so I just don't do it. Eventually, you will come into the places where you will have to deal with it, or it will deal with you. All right? Just to give an example, more and more QR codes are being used as accessible or actually access tokens. You cannot go into the gym if you don't have if you don't have an app to scan a QR code. Just to give an example, you might not want to deal with it, but it's dealing with you. When I stand on particular art markets, I don't have a POD, a point of it's like a operational point where people can pay. I don't have that. I use my phone. Every item that I have the amount. People can scan, they pay, and I have my money right away. QR codes are now becoming more and more access tokens. Ain't going nowhere. The way that people now pay is with the wallet on their phone. That money is disappearing, people. They're taking money out of the relation more and more. It's not going to come back. It's not going to come back. So you as an artist have to start thinking into, I wouldn't say into the future, but I want you to think progressively. Let's say you're a traditional artist, because I'm still like a traditional artist. What are ways that you as a traditional artist can progress yourself into the future so that you can proof yourself against any changes that OpenAI can have on the artistic market or on the creative market? How can you do that? Because I guarantee you that they're already looking for ways on how they want to use that into the creative market. You can imagine that they are now looking for ways where they're saying, well, that person who's creating a logo or creating a brand fit is creating brand visuals. We can replace that person with OpenAI. We just fill in what it is that we want to see, and boop, there we have it. And we give it to the customer, and they pay us our money. So, how are you progressively going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with that? If you're a traditional artist and you're a painter, I can imagine that for a lot of art galleries, they are not that far. If you're represented by an art gallery, for instance, not many art galleries are that far that they are saying they are, ditching all of their artists and they're using OpenAI to deliver art to their customers. But imagine if that would happen. Now what? Now what? The huge flood of AI art in these department stores on the internet. How are you going to stand out? What else can you offer to people in conjunction with OpenAI? Think progressively, think innovatively, and think in a way that it doesn't have to put your talent to the side. It can actually be the catalyst of your talent. It very much can be. So think about ways of how you can do that. And I already showed you one way, because I can either be afraid and say, oh my God, or I can think creatively by saying, hey, I create a video and people can go to my Patreon and take a prompt. That's a way of progressively thinking about that, right? If you are, for instance, a comic book writer, and you have a hard time, the process of creating the comic story is really hard. You can now start using AI, a prompt, to basically create the story for you. And the thing that you do is that you look if the story is according to the flow that you normally would speak in. You make a dis, you make, maybe you have to edit it, maybe you have to proofread it to somebody else. That's a great way of using it. Think progressively. It doesn't have to at all. It doesn't have to um, substitute your talent. Because remember, in order for AI to create what it needs to create, it needs our data, right? And the emotion that something evokes, as beautiful as AI is, as beautiful as the things that AI can create, the emotion is still a human emotion, a human understanding, a human experience. So that is what you possess. I hope that you are aware of that. So that's why I say don't be afraid of that. Will they eventually want to go into a time where people are completely integrated into AI? Probably, probably, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. For now, for the next 2 to 3 years, how are you going to use AI? And how can that help you finding, for instance, your customers? How would it be able for you to find the people that you would like to work with? Because here's also another thing, and why I also created that video. Um, I don't believe that everybody will have, not every artist will have the opportunity or the blessing to be represented by an art gallery. There are just, the numbers are not there. It's like finding the perfect man or the perfect woman. The numbers are not there. But there are ways that you can still make it work for yourself, right? You can still make it work. You can still go into avenues where your art might be appreciated. It can be in the form of educational programs. It can be in the form of working with other artists, starting a community where you're offering that to businesses or educational schools. Why I'm mentioning that, a lot of times educational schools, governments, when it comes to projects, and for every country that's of course different, but a lot of countries, um, 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 governmental bodies are looking for projects that help get work out there, artistic work, educational work. And in education, you can use art. You can think about creating, of course, courses, um, to think in a different way, to think more elaborate. It's not always, can I get my art in a museum? Can I get my art in a gallery? Because let me tell you something about galleries. I will always keep repeating this. And I heard this even in somebody else's live. And I was so happy that this person just was honest about it. He just gave an honest view like, hey, listen, I'm very blessed about the fact that I, can have business with a gallery, but that's exactly what it is. You're doing business with a gallery. That gallery wants to have a portion of your money. And nowadays, I'm hearing percentages of 40 and 50%. 40 and 50% of what it is that you make. So if you have a painting that is $1,500 plus tax, all right? So $1,500 and taxes is included. The gallery who's selling that for you to their customer, to the collector, they're going to take 40 or 50% out of that. So let's say 50% from the 1,500, that's 750. You're left with 750. Galleries want you to come with your gang. What have you already sold? They want you to come with numbers. Ah, your numbers, your reports. They want you to come with a report and numbers. Have you already sold? Who are your followers? Let me see your social media. Because if you're popular, then it's easier to sell it. If you're not that popular or people haven't heard about you, it's kind of hard to sell it, right? We're going to do the marketing, or listen, you have to do your own marketing. If you already collectors, send them over. Hmm? Are you willing to give up that percentage, the 50-40 percentage? So not everyone is will be in the position where they are like, I'm represented by a gallery and I will be getting my money out of it. It's great, of course, because it takes a lot out of a lot of the guessing will be taken out of it. Even writing your artist statement and your biography, if a gallery can do that for you, hey, it's better, right? It's great. But I've always taught myself everything that I expect a gallery to do, I have to be able to do myself. That's how I taught myself to do it. And I will keep doing that. Because whenever that conversation comes at a gallery says, oh, by the way, we want to have 40 or 50%, and we're going to work with AI, I'm going to say, you're not going to get 40 and 50%. Definitely if you're not working with if you're working with AI. Because based on that, you're going to get 30, 20%. Because this is what I've already done. And if we cannot come to an agreement, I'm going to go somewhere else or I'm going to do it by myself. The choice is yours. So the numbers are just not going to be there for everybody to be in an art gallery. The numbers are not going to be there for everyone to ever enjoy that prestigious exhibition in a museum. Not to say you can't have that as a goal. Absolutely not. But you have to stand into the reality of things, knowing that the art market is very skewed. And it's still a business of the haves and the have nots. It's still a business where, um, nepotism is very much seeping through it, right? And where mediocrity reigns a lot. And you might be a great artist, you might be excellent, but mediocrity reigns a lot. Why? Nepotism. The few, the aristocrats. Can I put money into that so I don't have to pay too much taxes? There are so many things in that art market that still, they move and influence the market in a way that you cannot put all your eggs into that basket. And don't think for a minute that they are not looking for ways how AI is going to be integrated or will be part of what it is that we do. Definitely not as an artist. Because if you think that the conversation and the demands that artists can place are already tough and minimal, imagine, imagine what can happen further down the road. So that's why I say think in a progressive way. I know it's not a sexy subject. I'm not talking about drama. I'm not talking about makeup. I'm not talking about how to get a bigger booty. I'm not talking about how you can get that man or that dream boy. I'm not talking about that. But this is important, y'all, because I am actually moving away from this thinking that says that we cannot serve, that we cannot live as the artists that we are, that we have to be, I don't even want to say it, that we are struggling. I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that. Hold up, because I want to change the music, but my phone is now not reactive. Come on. I don't even want to say that. because it's a corny story. Everybody has heard that story before. Ain't nobody want to hear that story anymore. So that's why I say you're a business owner. Reside with your mind in the excellent sense. Don't go into common sense. Everybody is there in common. It's crowded. Everybody's in common sense. Everybody's already residing there. Go to excellent sense. Dare yourself to think, well, what is it that I can do as an artist next? And maybe you have to rearrange a couple of things. Maybe you have to add to your roster. Maybe as a photographer, you now also have to do editing for other people. Maybe as a sculptor, you're now teaching other people to sculpt as well. Maybe you can set up a program for people with AI and then you sell it. People, I'm giving just examples, right? So it's not that what it needs to be, but I'm just giving examples. Maybe you can do that for other people, etc., 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 etc. Maybe you can license your work. However, I've understood that the licensing market is not that on the up and up. But start licensing yourself if that is what you would like to do. Start licensing yourself. Maybe you got to do that. But think broader, think more progressive, think in the way of, well, AI ain't going nowhere and I don't want to touch it. That's, you know where you're going to end up in? All of those old people that we're now living with. And I don't mean it disrespectfully. I absolutely don't mean it disrespectfully, but the old people that are now having problems with all of these computers and their phones and these apps are people who got stuck in the world where they said, I want to do everything with pen and paper. Pen and paper is never going to leave for now. for now. For now. Pen and paper is still very powerful, especially when it comes to your affirmations and the dreams and the things that you want to have in life. Use pen and paper. But for most things, pen and paper is not, I don't want to do everything on pen and paper. Why can it not be, those are the people who got stuck in the thinking of it will always be the same. So now, 50 years from now, you're going to be the person who's not able to work with AI. And AI is now offering our foods, subscriptions, transportation, infrastructure, surfacing. But you are going to be the person who's going to be nagging all the time. I don't know how to work with this. You're going to be that person. It's going to be the same for us. If we are not willing to think along, to be just as progressive and to be just as forward thinking, because we are laughing at the people, when maybe not laughing, but we're kind of looking at the older elderly people and being like, well, Rudolph, you should be already learning how to use that computer. Listen, you're 70 by now, bro. Start typing. You should be knowing how to use that tablet, Susie. You need to know how to use that tablet. You need to know how to use that phone. You need to know how to operate those apps. You still don't know the password to your modem? You don't know how to access your modem? And there are people, and not even elderly people, there are young people who do not even know how to access their modem. I'm wondering if you know how to access your modem. Little things like that. And because you're not willing to operate along, you don't want to go along with everything because you feel that you are, the exception applies to you. Well, good luck. Because it's going to apply to us all. It's going to apply to all of us. No exceptions made. No exceptions made. There will be no exceptions for who, what will be applied. Made. There will be no exceptions for who, what will be applied. will be applied. All right. So the moral of that story is go to the YouTube and watch the video. That's the moral of the story. Go to the YouTube and watch that video, people, because it's definitely going to be something that you can benefit from, especially as an artist, creative, business owner. You can definitely benefit from that. All right, I've been talking long enough. I've been talking for quite some time. All right. So there are still a couple of things that I need to do in the studio. It's a painting that I cannot finish off. Well, it's not finished. I think I need this week still to finish it. But he is pretty much finished, and I'm very happy and content with it. I will be showing, of course, progress videos and photos on my Patreon. On my Patreon, become a member on the Patreon. There's where you can find more of my information. And of course, pre-order till the 9th of March. It is still available. After that, it will be closed. You ain't gonna get it. It will be closed. All right? It will be closed. I'm going to wish y'all a very good evening, a very good night, or a very good day, depending on where you are, where you are sitting, standing, working, enjoying, relaxing, whatever that might be. I'll see you next time. All right? That might be here in the studio or maybe just somewhere else. Be blessed, be safe. Take care. Bye, y'all.